welcome to the FormFast Group webinar. My name is Philip Blanks, and I will be your host today. I would like to thank you all for joining us this morning. As we are all very busy, we have designed these brief monthly user group webinars to give our users some valuable information on our products and solutions. We're going to go over some troubleshooting methods for your fast print solutions, and one of our solutions architects, David, is here to present. But before we start, there's a few things to go over. I encourage your thoughts and questions during the session, so please submit them at any time in the chat panel or the Q&A section on the right hand of your screen. All questions will be answered. And secondly, the audio for this webinar will broadcast through your computer speakers. But if you experience any difficulty with your audio, please send a message and I'll approve you to join the teleconference. Once you're connected to the teleconference, make sure that your computer speakers are then muted. And finally, at the end of this webinar, you'll be directed to a page that is going to allow you to register for all of the upcoming webinars, as well as request a demo or additional information on all of our solutions. So now go ahead and send it over to Dave and let him get started with his presentation.
Join this morning. How do I share my desktop here real quick?
Now you.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so just to get started here, I'm going to bring a couple of those over. Today we're talking about troubleshooting 101 print, which basically talks about troubleshooting within automated piece of software. So we're going to be talking about troubleshoot problems within that aspect of it. So basically, to start off, knows your procedure for getting data over. You get data from your HIM, comes over fast, and we take that data and print it out on our forms. Well, the most common problem that we have reported by customers is that nothing is printing. So what we do is we ask, well, is all printing stopped? Is it all your printers at that site? Or is it just one printer? Obviously, if it's one printer, then it may be FormFast. Want to rule that out. It depends on, the first question we really ask is, what has changed within FormFast? If the answer is, well, nothing's changed, the first thing I would have to ask is, okay, maybe you've had a power outage or something like that. So what we would want to do is log into the server and make sure that the print manager is running. For example, in this case, I've set up print manager, and the thing that I notice is that this button here is depressed. So that means that somebody started print manager, but they forgot to turn that back on. That is to look under run. If we don't have that check mark over here, then we know that print manager is not processing data. And so now I've turned it on. Now you can see, oh, all my stuff is starting to print to the printer. There it said not responding. That's because print manager was catching up with all print jobs. Okay, the first thing to check on. We have print manager up, and then perhaps print isn't working. So there's some obvious things that you would want to check. First of all, at the IT level, like checking, of course, your printer, making sure the paper loaded in the trays, printer queue, making sure printer online, toner, those sorts of things. Common things sometimes people are testing and they'll have paused a printer within the queue, or actually at the printer. Something else that you'll want to check too. Another possibility is when checking your printer queue, if you have a bunch of print jobs stacked up, and if maybe the first is having an error, then of course all your jobs behind that are going to be backed up. Okay, so the main thing is that Print Manager must be running. We want to make sure that the run is set. Another possibility is that the functions got turned off. Default, these are always on. They basically control the three levels or types of queries that we're handling in Print Manager. The bottom one that we often turned off is send forms to printer. Maybe you're sending data over and all the data is getting sorted to jobs and it's getting merged with forms, but it's just not getting sent. So if it's off, then you'd want to be sure to turn that on. These aren't changed in their settings, so you would not want to not expect that. Usually it's just having the Print Manager stop. Okay, that's the first example. And again, this is kind of a reverse approach to how you learned FormFast. You learned how to get the data over from the server and to our software into the printer. And so kind of the approach for debugging is and troubleshooting is to, depending on what the error is, like in this I was talking about printing is stopped, you would want to put that in reverse and go and check your printers. Then go back to the software, perhaps the network, perhaps it's the server, and then check the software. It depends on the symptoms. So oftentimes, if you can't debug it yourself, by all means, call us at FormFast desktop support. Particular department is having problems with their software, and they're not getting a certain form out. We come in here, and this form is not printing. So what we do is go into the Print Manager, select Log, select Examine Log. This is a log of all transactions that Print Manager is executing on the server. So you see we've got a time and date stamp. We've got Manager is loading up the jobs, and we've got bills coming in. And the first thing that you can see here is that he takes that data and sorts it to a particular job. So that the job level criteria is correct. And then we know that it's creating the print job. And it's creating a sheet file, and so it's data onto that PCL, sends that data over to a printer. And so in this case, we're sending actually to a printer on the network. Now down here, we see an error message. And so in this, I've got a message that says, you must select an image database first within options configuration. So in this case, I know that I have a archiving forms to my system. So what I check on is my settings with an archiving tab. So in this case, that I'm not sending that image to the database. And also another setting that I have set, which is within Print Manager, that I don't have image forms to files. In that case, that was the reason for error in my log, and so that's the process for you would track that down. So if you figure it out in the error log, that's when you would want to contact support and let us work with you to track down a problem. Okay. We might have a problem where we're working in Job Designer, and or when we're printing, we notice that a particular form isn't printing. So I go into Job Designer and I've tried to open up this consent form that I know is not printing. And Job Designer, we see an error message from our job set, consent.acl load error file not found. Can't load selected merge. And so I go into my FormFast job set folder. Actually go into the ACLs and for that FF consent file. Well, it looks like it evidently got named incorrectly. So he was in here doing some administrative work and the file got incorrectly. So by correct that file name now that's the name that this merge was expecting. So now I open that up. There's my file. So a lot of times, what you can do is actually follow the error messages and take snapshots or write down the error message. And if it can't find this particular form, that tells you, okay, I need to go to my job set into the CL folder and look at the actual file that can't be found. Now, the problem that we see in technical support is that a printer can't be found. And when you have a printer on your network breaks down or gets renamed, they change the network and they change the names slightly. If we had that case, go into the log file, and we would only see an error with a log that would say not find this particular printer. We would have an error in here that would say cannot find that printer. So what we'd want to do is into Job Designer, go under our printers, and we would for that particular in the list, and then we would check for the in there and see if that's correct. then we would want to go out to our printers and faxes on the server, or depending on the version of Windows that you have, you would go out to devices and printers, find the printer, and verify that the name had changed, and then you could go back here, correct that setting within here, look for your updated printer name, select that, and then update your alias. To do that, you need to save job. Then you would want to stop Print Manager, and to stop it from running, select restart your Print Manager. And then start that. Another useful for debugging problems, many of you are familiar with having to ask someone in admissions or in the ER to resend data files. And so we have the options within Print Manager under Mode, discard data files after processing or to purge them on a weekly basis, and that happens at midnight every night. Perhaps we have it set to discard. We turn this off so that we can get the data file coming through, and just if you have a problem that you need to track down, it's turned off for a while. So when your files come through, you can use to drop into the collector just for testing purposes. You don't have to go back to the router and ask them to resubmit data files over and over again. And then you can just call them and say, I'm going to be testing with this particular patient. The way you find those files then is in your job sets folder. In this case, my job sets folder is called automated. And so within that, I'm going to go into merges, jobs. So let's see. Let's do a different job set because this one doesn't have any data files. In this case, we have an example where the files that have come through are renamed, so that these particular files have been renamed with a prefix on the Windows operating system has added those. So if we open this up, we can actually look at the data file coming over. This is some test data that we're looking at. And so take that file and that open to go up to there we go. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong folder. Here we go. The sample data, and then paste the file into here. We can go to Job Designer, change our job set location, and go to that. And when we have our admissions packet, then go in and find data file and read that in. And then go and look at the row column information there. So that's another way to track down problems in the software. And then once you have that within the container, you can change settings within properties. Perhaps your job criteria is not correct. If the packet isn't printing at all, that's going to be your job selection criteria that you want to look at. If all the forms except for maybe one aren't printing, then you would want to go to the merge level criteria and look at the criteria for those files. And if the output is going to the wrong printer, then we would want to check our printer level criteria. And so we could actually go in here under the print and check our user. Well, in case this particular user does not have a select printer chooser, so we know that we're going just to the admissions printer. At this point, I would like to open it up to questions, individual people, and see, if anybody has any questions about special cases that they've run into.
I want to see if anyone has questions. Go ahead and take this time now to enter your questions in the chat or in the section below. And are doing that. Be on the next page at the close of this webinar to sign up for the upcoming user group webinars and also the educational webinar series at the close session. We did a question, and Dave, what's the information for your department?
Right. If you have, if there's an emergency and you want to call in and actually talk to someone on the phone, you would call 866-932. Call in, follow the prompts to the tech support line, and you will be contacted with one of our desktop people, and they will route you to the most appropriate or the next available desktop support guy. If it's urgent, you can also email to support, TEHSUPPOT, FormFast.com.
So for more questions, or if you have any other questions that you come up with after the session, you can go ahead and either email them to myself, or you can email them straight to tech support at the email address that Dave gave, or you can also call tech support at the phone as well. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. And for your information, this link will be a recording. Will be at the end of this presentation, and it'll also be sent out to everyone that registered. In the meantime, like I said, if you have any other questions or comments or suggestions for upcoming webinars, please contact myself at the email address shown on the screen, pblinks@formfast.com. And if there's an application that you saw demonstrated that you'd like more information on, please contact myself, or you set up a personal demonstration or meeting if you and your team, for you and you on the following page. And happy holidays, everyone, and we'll see you all in 2013.